Part two of Am I Going to Be Okay? Is the deeper cut into this question, this phenomenon of fear, and obviously the follow-up to part one. And the opposite of anxiety and fear I'm going to offer is faith. And the definition that I pulled and that I want to share with you here is faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Faith often has a religious connotation. That's not what I'm doing here. So imagine, faith being a sense of confidence, a sense of, no matter what, I'm going to be okay. In part one, I talked about high functioning, low functioning, the need for certainty, the tolerance for uncertainty, the belief that I've survived everything thus far, and in fact, that's what has helped to make me as strong as I am. So when we ask ourselves if we're going to be okay, we either are anxious or we can have faith. And in this case, faith that no matter what, I'm going to make it through this. I'm going to survive. I'm going to pull through. And we also ultimately know that we're going to be a better person because of the struggle that shows us things about ourselves. So I also know that I'm not alone in my quest, my desire to fulfill my safety and my comfort and my certainty in really unhealthy and foolish ways. And so me being okay was something that I sourced outside myself, in objects, in people, in external and intrinsic things. You probably have some idea of this thing you do to massage your world and your reality to try to get yourself to be okay. So the offer here is to update and assess and look at the metrics that you've been using to understand your okayness. And to inquire the deeper reasons why you think certain things will make you okay. And if you don't have those things, you end up anxious and confused or depressed or some type of unhealthy state. And, when we feel anxious and confused and stuff like that, ultimately we become disconnected. And disconnection really, I argue, is the seed, is the deep down genesis of all of our pain. And so then the opposite, I believe, is true, and connection is the source of fulfillment and peace and ease and bliss. So the path to success and happiness is to arrive at a place where all the things I've used to define myself become less necessary, and the physical outer exterior trappings kind of just get released. And we also know that success, no matter how big, doesn't create safety, and it actually doesn't create okayness. It doesn't. And you those of you who have found yourself there and you kind of have it all and you're still not okay, that isn't the source. So if belief, is certainty and is our attachment to knowing, then faith, on the other hand, is being okay in uncertainty, is knowing that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I know I want to do this. I know I want to move forward and move in this direction. And if what you do when you get anxious is to become controlling and clingy and unmoored, eventually that starts to define your entire life. And if that's your life right now, I got an opportunity for you to just inquire a little bit deeper and see what's going on, what that's about. So here's question one. What do you do in an attempt to control outcomes in unhealthy ways? And think about it, really get underneath there. These questions, I think, can be a bit nuanced, but we're all doing this to some degree. And then the next question is, how or where have you been outsourcing your okayness in some external thing, stuff, a person, having, creating, whatever, that has you basically out of control, but what you think you're doing is being in control, but it is an external thing that you don't have control over for you to be okay. And with this idea of faith, I also then offer surrender. How do we surrender to things that we can't control? How do we actually acknowledge that? And how can you move more into a state of faith and surrender? Thanks for your time. Have a great day.